Welcome to the Nightly Rant
with
your hosts, Mike
and Torya.
This is the show where we examine society from a sarcastic point of view.
If you like insane conversations, this is definitely the show for you.
Let's get into today's topic. YPN people, I don't know about you, but I love helping out a friend. That's why I want to shout out my friend Brian Little and his podcast, Your Favorite Blockhead. This is the only show that manages to weave together peanuts and MMA into one heck of an amazing podcast. You can find Your Favorite Blockhead wherever your favorite podcasts reside and at yourfavoriteblockhead.com. Do me a huge favor and listen to Brian's show. You'll be entertained and you'll help out a friend. Now, as I said, let's get into today's topic.
Did you know that men can be pregnant?
They can't. Sorry.
No, it's not true. The emojis on Apple, the emojis, you know, on the keyboard thing there.
Uh-huh.
Those, they've got pregnant men of different
They
colors.
also have giraffes that are the exact same size as a pig's snout. So, let's be real. Emojis don't mean accuracy.
So you're saying that just because it's an emoji, don't make it true?
Correct.
Well, then, you know, you kind of have to refute it. You can't just say that. That's an easy thing to say.
Do biological males have ovaries and uteruses?
Well, I don't know. Some people get in trouble for things like making comments like that because other people come in and laugh at them, ha 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 ha, and then that person will lash out or do, you know, whatever.
You know, about a year ago, I was in those Facebook groups for the people with PCOS because, you know, I have the PCOS, whatever.
Right.
Now the world knows, whatever. There was a person in there who popped in and said, all of you need to stop saying, hey, ladies, at the start of your posts because men can have PCOS too. And I was like, hold on. Polycystic ovarian syndrome. Do men have ovaries? No. Men don't have ovaries. Anyway, that's it. I'm done. Now I'm clearly
But what happened?
a piece of garbage now,
but what
as
happened?
the internet would say.
But what happened?
Oh, you can't say anything unsupportive in that group or you'll get banned. So I said nothing and I just ranted about it.
Oh, I see. So you didn't actually say that in the group?
No.
Okay. All right.
You cannot be unsupportive at all in that group. People are very sensitive.
Okay. All right. Keeping moving on. You get my point, right?
Yeah.
Either way, you got to deal with the outcome of what you want.
Right.
Either way. So it doesn't matter which way the other person chooses. You're still in control. You get control. But there was this, you were mentioning before, that there was
It's going to be very much about control with the two Am I the Assholes that I have prepared for you.
That's why we talked about control. And that leads us to this first Am I the Asshole? So, what is it?
Am I the asshole for quote-unquote rudely asking some guy to keep his kid quiet? Was the actual title. On Saturday, my boyfriend, male 26, and I, female 23, went out for lunch. We went to Chick-fil-A, and we were hoping that, because of the time we went, there wouldn't be a lot of people eating there. We were wrong. The place was packed, and there was a lot of kids. Neither of us hate kids, don't get me wrong, but we were hoping to get away with having a lunch without too many loud kids there. You know, as every other fast food person eating always wants. In the booth behind us was some guy who I guess had his kids for the weekend, because he had two young boys who were about 4 and 2 with him, and he also had an elderly man who might have been his father. They were fairly quiet, but the older kid kept laughing at something that the old guy was saying. Every 5 minutes, he just burst out laughing.
Weird, right?
I know that it's stupid, but it kept getting on my nerves. We were trying to enjoy a nice, quiet lunch, and the kid kept laughing.
You know what? Hold on a second. That would get on my nerves, too. And I love kids, but that would get on my nerves. Continue.
Finally, I snapped, and I turned around in my chair and asked the guy to keep his kid quiet because there were other people in the restaurant, and it was getting annoying. The guy told me that I needed to calm down, that his kid laughing wasn't a big deal. I didn't want to argue, but what I wanted to tell him was that kids laughing is actually kind of annoying, especially when you're trying to relax. My boyfriend held his hand out for me to be quiet and apologized to the guy, which pissed me off, and I didn't want to make a scene. In my opinion, the whole situation has been blown out of control, but my boyfriend keeps saying that I went too far, and I want outside opinions.
Oh.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. What do you think I would choose? Who's the asshole?
She's the asshole. And the boyfriend's the asshole. But the kid laughing is
Yes.
a 4-year-old.
Yes.
Like,
and I
that's
think
not
the
the
boyfriend is less of the asshole because he wanted her to shut up and not go too far, and he felt she went too far. And she did go too far.
I have opinions on why the boyfriend is an asshole that I would like to tell you after you tell me your whole opinion.
I think that the woman is really the asshole because just because. I mean, she's wrong in every step of what she did. Wrong. Just plain wrong. She tried to one-sidedly point an outcome in her favor. That's really what she was trying to do. She manipulated the situation to make that happen.
Move to a different booth, lady. Children are allowed to laugh.
Yeah. Like, exactly. If it's really that bad, move.
It's not like the kid was kicking her seat or doing something bad that was causing her a problem.
Well, and even then, though, what bothered me is they let it get to the point where it bothered them so much that they turned around and they snapped. Well, you know what would happen? What if we were being super loud at a restaurant and we didn't really realize it because we were just jubilant for some reason, you know? Maybe
like those ladies at Chili's that one time?
Yeah, just didn't realize that we were loud. Well, if someone were to come to us and be like, "Hey, you know what? You're being kind of loud. Could you shh?" We'd be all right.
Less
oh my
loud.
God. We'd be like mortified that they ever had to say anything. But if they came up and they were like, "Would you just shut up?" Well, your natural reaction is going to be like, "What's that? The loud is bothering you. Let me be louder."
Louder, yes, exactly.
You know what I mean? That's your natural reaction. And I know it's not right because it's not right, but it's a natural way to react.
Asking politely.
Yeah, if you ask nicely, nobody has a problem.
Well, assholes do, but
we, as far as us, we don't have a problem, allowing that. Like we can even allow, we're okay with conflicting viewpoints because that's what freedom of speech is about.
Right.
Being able to support even your quote enemy, end quote,
Right.
the opposing viewpoint. I think that's important, and nobody does that anymore today. They never consider the opposing viewpoint. It's like an echo chamber where they live, and that's kind of sad. And it's like I told you about the kind of crazy woman who blocked me because she posted something about the Supreme Court striking down Roe versus Wade, which, by the way, is a draft opinion. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. I mean, maybe by the time this comes out, something will have happened. But, my personal opinion is there's something up here. Like,
I'll go down that road, man. That's a topic for a different day.
But I just think something's up here. Something is up here, and it's not as clear as it looks like. So that's what I was going to say. Is that's why I don't want to discuss that part.
That's a whole topic.
Because it's not as clear as day. But we'll just pretend that we'll go to the bare minimum to something, and we'll pretend that's what's the truth, and we'll move forward based off of that understanding. And we'll see where we end up. Okay. I think that
the woman is the asshole. Yes.
The woman is the asshole.
The internet agrees.
Because she just completely messed the entire situation up. I don't quite see how the boyfriend can be the asshole.
Allow me to tell you.
So, yeah, I was just going to say, now it's your turn to tell me why the boyfriend could be the asshole.
You and I.
Us.
We.
Us.
have an agreement that if I am acting like a psycho in public, or you are acting like a psycho in public, the other person is supposed to be, like, just calm them. Don't make the situation worse. And tell the person you disagree about how they handled something privately later. This boyfriend maybe should have just, like, touched her hand and been like, maybe you should stop. I don't think it was appropriate for him to embarrass her by apologizing to the person.
So, I'm going to admit to something right here and now. That's a weakness that I have sometimes. It's even affecting my chess playing. And my point is, I used to not be this way. Okay, but it's affecting my chess playing. It's made me a little bit weaker chess player. And I get so focused in on an idea that I forget. I forget that there's these other paths that things could go down. Mm-hmm. And you got to check those, because if you go down a certain way, you get to a point where you no longer have control of what path you take. So you have to make sure that the path you chose is going to bring you some money back. The investment's going to pay off. Otherwise, you shouldn't be investing in it. That's kind of the thing, the way I approach it. So that's why
You
I
didn't even
think
consider this perspective.
didn't even think of that perspective, but your perspective instantly clicked in my head when you said it. So it's clear that I 100% agree with it, because if I didn't, it wouldn't have clicked that fast. But it was just like, yeah, that's right.
That being said, if there's 100% of asshole to be had in this situation, he's 2 and she's 98.
98, yeah. Agreed.
But he doesn't get off the hook because I think that was a bit of a dick move.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm going to just play devil's advocate just for a hot second, and before we move on to the second
Hot minute.
Am I the asshole? But here's what I was going to say. Playing devil's advocate, you know, what if there's that third party just kind of looking on, and they're considering this viewpoint, and you just go, oh, you cheated, blah, 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 wah, 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 wah. Well, you would think that nothing would happen. You would think that they would lose their little battle because it's not about who's the loudest. But actually, it's turned out that lately, it is about who is the loudest. People that yell and scream the loudest, it doesn't matter how big or small a representation of the population they are,
They're not always right.
They get their way. But that doesn't make them right just because they're a large, loud portion of the population. Doesn't make them right. Just because you're loud doesn't make you right. And this is about all issues. It's not about any kind of specific issue that we're talking about here. This is just something that I feel, and I think Torya agrees with me, that you can comfortably just apply to every situation and kind of come away with which side of it you should be on. I just think it's your framework that you live your life by, and then you just throw that problem into the framework, and wherever it falls, you know, is it a good thing for you? Is it a bad thing for you? And you deal with it accordingly.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So that's where I come from on that one. So now you had another one. What's this other one?
So upon rereading through this one, it isn't actually an Am I the Asshole?
Oh,
but it is
no.
something ridiculous that I wanted your opinion on.
All right.
Do you still want to talk about it today?
Sure, yeah, let's do it.
Okay. In a lawsuit filed by a couple who says they were promised a girl by a fertility clinic, the baby turned out to be a boy. New York Post reported that they specifically requested that they have a daughter after undergoing fertility treatments. We selected CNY because they agreed we would be able to select female embryos, she recalled before explaining that we didn't want to have a boy because of the assaults and because of the socialization of boys. There's constant socialization of what it means to be a real man. People say, oh, he's a boy, let him hit you. And all the camouflage and guns don't help. It reinforces masculinity, and that's a reminder of the assaults every time. Hold it back.
What?
I can see you trying to opinion over there. Hold it in.
I'm not opinioning. I'm just saying, what? I got time later to opinion, as you call it.
She said that while she did not have to deal with her wife's trauma, she also did not want a boy because of enforced masculinity. We did not sign up for that. This is a lesbian couple.
So they're a lesbian couple. Okay,
Yeah.
Great. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I don't think there's anything
effectively,
wrong with
the clinic guaranteed them a girl, couldn't give them a girl, and now they're hurt and offended and hate their baby because they have a boy.
But what proof did they show so far that the clinic promised they could give them a girl?
The lawsuit's not included in here, so it doesn't tell you what proof they have. I just wanted your opinion on the entire situation, really.
Well, I mean, they're the asshole. I think they're the asshole. They just have to be the asshole.
Come on now. Come on now. I can't. I have no words. So I'm going to tell you the words of one of the commenters on the post. Wow. You can't order a child like ordering a sofa from a catalog. This is ridiculous. Somebody else went on to say that they think they're deplorable human beings. He's just an innocent child who didn't ask to be born to a same-sex couple, let alone a couple who are taking their beliefs on what they deem all of society to be way too far. They first and foremost should be thankful and happy that they have a healthy baby boy.
Well, hold on a second. Why do people like that feel the need to inject so much of their political ideology into a simple answer to a question?
don't know.
You know, you ask a yes/no question to someone like that, and you get a, well, I believe blah 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 blah, get caught in the trenches, blah 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 blah.
I think
then they say no.
She should have said, if she didn't want to have her political bullshit in there, he's just an innocent child who didn't ask to be born to a couple who are taking their beliefs on what they deem all of society to be way too far, and left out the same-sex couple part, because that's really the only problem I see in that sentence. I mean,
Yes.
he is just a child who didn't ask to be born to people who didn't want him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they're assholes too.
Yeah.
I was quite offended when I read that story the first time. I was like, what is wrong with these people?
Yeah, it kind of offends my sensibilities too.
Yeah.
It just does. I mean, sometimes I think I don't have any empathy.
You got some empathy for that little kid?
But I have empathy in certain situations, and what I've begun to pay attention to, because it's kind of important to me, I feel.
Yeah.
Having empathy, in my opinion, relieves stress. Because once you start to have empathy, people are more real with you about their life. And then you find out just how many people around you that you think are doing so well really aren't.
Yeah.
And you might relate to that one, part of that one story, or part of that one story, and it motivates you to be stronger and do better. But it also motivates you to be you recognize something your friend did that was wrong, and it was wrong because you know how? You did it once and it was wrong and you found out.
Yeah.
So it may motivate you if you teach them that.
Yeah.
Kind of bring them back, and then you both learn by that interaction. I don't know. I just think people have lost that I'll help you if you help me, or I'll help you because you helped me, not I'll help you if you help me.
Right.
And that's just the way I think business in general should be transacted too.
I hope that these women put this child up for adoption so somebody who's not an asshole can adopt it and love it. Him.
Yeah.
It's
Him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel
sad.
the same way as I feel about drug addicts who get pregnant and then try to raise the baby. You're not good for that kid and you know it. Put it up for adoption. It's quite enough. Or get your shit together, one or the other.
Well, I think that's the key. They have two choices, right?
Right.
Either admit that it's not for them.
Right.
And set the child free. Or step up to the plate.
If they think that
Hit
men
the
in
ball.
society are so toxic, then break the cycle by not teaching your son to be like that.
Exactly.
Don't treat him badly for being male, because then you are the problem.
Exactly. You're perpetuating the problem anyway. I mean, that's 100% true. I don't disagree with that even a little bit.
Wow. We're on the same page. We're in complete agreement. Maybe it's time we stop for right now.
Yeah, that's rare sometimes for us, but
especially on Am I the Asshole episodes, we tend to disagree slightly on these.
Yeah, and we were almost right on this one, I think. So
yeah. Well, all right,
baby.
Good night, everyone.
Still a bye-bye, Bree.
Thank you for listening to the Nightly Rant.
If you enjoyed the show, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Google Play.
If you didn't enjoy the show, please just ignore that previous request for a rating.
This has been a Yogi's Podcast Network production.